Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. It is almost July 23rd, 2022. That means it's almost time for Palooza number 9. After a 3-year hiatus due to COVID, we are bringing back what, in my so biased opinion, is just an epic, special, wonderful event of all time. We're bringing back Palooza, and I want this little few minutes that you are listening to help you get the most out of Palooza 9. If you don't know me, I'm Dylan Stafford. I'm an assistant dean. With me is the Brain Trust. There are many, many people who make Palooza happen, but I'm gonna venture to say that 91% of the epicness of this year's Palooza is represented by the brains on this call. So with me is two of my great colleagues, Cynthia Summerville and Chris Thompson, and our favorite alum, I can't say that, one of our favorite alum, Diego Benitez, class of 2019, who is the master craftsman brewing our beer. And this is his 5th time. So we're going to do a quick round robin, and we're each going to share a couple things that will help you get the most out of Palooza 9. And just to give you a sense, we right now we have over 1,700 total guests, of whom almost 800 are Anderson, either current or alumni. And then the rest are invited guests. So husbands, wives, children, significant others. We have 10 faculty signed up so far. We have 38 different class years registered to come so far. Of all of the almost 800 Anderson folks, 2/3 are alumni, 1/3 are current or even incoming students, because Palooza is always a way to welcome our incoming classes. We have all of the programs of Anderson. So FEMBA, Executive MBA, Full-Time MBA, MSBA, PhD, MFE, also our Global NUS program. So you got to register to come. So if you haven't registered, please do so. So that's a little bit about where we are so far. But I'm going to start with Cynthia Summerville, who, if you don't know Cynthia is the heart and soul and the voice of FEMBA back when people used to come to the office. Now she just keeps us together digitally. But Cynthia Summerville and I have been colleagues since February of 2015. And I love working with Cynthia because she keeps the trains on time. I'm a conceptual creative, and I can't do a darn thing without epic, high professional colleagues like Cynthia. And Cynthia really stepped into the void this year and is doing what's probably the hardest thing, which is making sure that all of our vendors are well taken care of and paid on time, and handling the million little details that make up something as epic as Palooza. So Cynthia, if you were going to share with people 3 things that would have them have the best Palooza 9 experience, what would be some of those 3 things?
Well, I would for sure like to tell everyone that it's an opportunity to meet new people, see old friends and colleagues and classmates, and just be out in the atmosphere today, amongst all of the different activities and the food and drinks that we're offering at this year's Palooza event. So I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Now, I know you have some special surprises, so we're not going to give away all of those, but if you wanted to maybe point people at 1 or 2 things they might be looking forward to, anything you'd want to highlight?
Yeah, for sure. Like, for instance, we're going to have a really top-notch DJ this year. So we're going to have lots of nice music, all genres, and you're just going to have a chance to just really chill listening to the music. And there'll also be raffles. You'll have a chance to get some nice raffle gifts to commemorate the Palooza event. And let's see, we have an ice cream truck that's going to be coming through. They're actually going to be scooping ice cream, so you'll have a variety of choices. And of course, we like to include the In-N-Out truck, which is hamburgers and cheeseburgers this year. So I think you'll really enjoy it. It's going to be family friendly, and we hope to see you there.
Okay, so come hungry. Now, are there food choices besides In-N-Out and the desserts?
Yes, we have we're doing an international food selection from from Sweet Pea Catering, which is one of the top places to, cater food. And so you're going to get a nice variety of different items. We will have a menu, so you'll be able to know ahead of time what the tables will have on what the food will be on each table, and you can plan your day accordingly.
Excellent. And our event is from 3 p.m. until sunset. So, maybe either eat an early brunch and then come hungry, or eat a light lunch. But, we're, 3 o'clock, it's kind of in the middle of the day, but just, come ready to sort of graze around and snack and enjoy delicious savories all through the afternoon, plus ice cream.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes. All right. And when she says good DJ, Cynthia is a music major from USC, so she is very qualified and knows of what she speaks. So awesome. Well, Cynthia, thank you so much. I love working with you. I just love it. You always make stuff fun, and you always lower my blood pressure. So thank you for really just picking up all of what you've picked up to make this year so great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so next, Chris Thompson, everybody knows, who's been admitted to FEMA in the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Chris ran the last 3 Paloozas, 2017, 2018, 2019, and is kind of not running this year, except he's kind of like our executive consultant, I think you could say, and we keep dragging him into operational details also. But like the Sweet Pea, the delicious food that we get from Sweet Pea, anybody who remembers the last couple of Paloozas, you noticed, the in and out was steady, but then we had this nice upgrade on top of that. Well, that was all from Chris. And Chris, I can't do this without you also, of course, anything, Palooza or the rest of admissions. And thank you for, sharing all your best practices, because I really think this is going to stand right on top of where we left off in 2019. And it's been a lot more work than I realized it was going to be, because I just, honest to God, didn't realize how the heck much you had done to upgrade it as much as you had. So, and Chris is driving right now, so we'll just see what he can do while he's driving. But Chris, what do you want to tell people in terms of how to get the most out of Palooza 9?
Well, it always starts with food, I think, because that's just how you bring people together in a lot of different cultures. But, as Dylan mentioned, we started as kind of a barbecue type of thing. You had some burgers and hot dogs, and, not everybody likes burgers and hot dogs, and they don't always keep well throughout a 4-hour event. So, we had some great feedback from students in the past, and they were wondering if we could have some other options. So over the years, I think we've really focused on bringing some elite cuisines to your plates. But the biggest thing I would say is what we're focused on is not having a big plate one time, but, being able to try different things throughout the event, not committing to a big plate so that you can network still and move around. So feel free to grab little things, throughout the day. I think that's really the spirit of it. And I think this year I can truly say there will be more different types of food than ever before. So you should definitely be ready to try some things food-wise. And along the same lines, I think it's just what we try to do at Anderson. What we do really well, almost unintentionally, is just bring different people from different backgrounds. So it only makes sense that we have different food. And I'll let Diego talk about the different beer that we'll have. And we also brought on some new types of other alcoholic beverages as well. Some rosé, and so you should be able to almost get anything you want this year. Of course, there's water, and there'll be some Path Waters again from one of our recent alums, Harry Meng. He works for Path Water, who I've seen that company now have water in airports and supermarkets, and I'm sure you guys might know Path Water by now, just even without coming to Palooza. So we're excited to have Harry's contributions again, so you can also make sure you're hydrated in between drinks. So definitely there should be something for everyone. But I guess the biggest thing to just realize is that we obviously care a lot about this day, and we think that it's a special thing that really happens once a year, and we've been able to make it happen 9 times now. And the real special part is that everyone that we talk through in the admissions process I think everyone is very focused on networking and how they're going to network and when they're going to do it and how they're going to meet these people. This is one of the best opportunities to network because there's really no class and, you know, of just a grass full of people that are willing to talk and ready to talk. And, you know, people will have name tags, so it kind of makes it easy to know their name, and you'll see what their affiliation is, whether they're a student or an alumni. So we really encourage people to just bump into people along the way in the food lines, in the beer garden, in the kids zone, wherever you're at, just talk, you know, meet people. And that's really what this community is about. So that's something I think is very special. A lot of smiles that you'll see throughout the day. And I think the other thing is just to keep in mind that, you know, it's just a human thing. So this is great practice to meet people at a very low risk, you know, event. So that being said, I guess the one thing that I really enjoy doing personally is somehow, some way, I got roped into running the raffle a few years back, and it became a really fun thing to do. We've improved the way it runs. So just so you know, everyone always asks, so what do we do with our raffle tickets? Well, we're going to give them to you at the beginning, and we just want to make sure we don't waste your time at the end. And the first time I did it, we were pulling a bunch of tickets, and people weren't there. So now you're going to have to drop your raffle ticket right before the raffle. So hold on to that thing, and that will be your way of actually entering the raffle so that we don't pull tickets for people that had to leave early. So that's one tip. The other thing is, if you are a current student or an incoming student, you're going to have a number on your badge, and you're not going to know what that means, but that's actually a second raffle ticket just for the grand prize that the director, I think she's the executive director of the Center for Global Management, Lucy Allard, she's actually going to pull that ticket, and that's going to be a Global Immersion Fellowship. What that really means is we are covering your global immersion program fee, which is valued at anywhere from $2,500 to I think $3,000. So it's definitely in your best interest to hang till the raffle and see if you can win that thing. What else? Some logistics. You know, you can imagine having approximately 1,500 people. Let's say 800 cars. You're all going to be parking in lot 4, and if you haven't parked there before, it's underground. And there are multiple levels. So parking usually costs, I don't even know, $14 now or something per day. We're covering your parking, but you'll need to actually register your license plate. So we're going to email everyone who registered instructions on how to do that. You can do that before the actual event. And that's what we're encouraging you to do. So there's not a bottleneck at I think there are 2 machines in the parking lot. So you can do it before, you can do it on the app, you can do it online. You have to make a guest login, or if you already have a UCLA login, you can do it through there. That'll be your way to just pull into the parking lot and come straight to the event and not have to worry about paying. So that's another thing we're trying to do for you. And I think one of the most unique things I can possibly tell you is that this is one of the events that's very, very free and everything is taken care of. And they're not always like that. So take advantage of what we're trying to have be the easiest, freest event that you're probably going to have at Anderson. So, you know, from parking to food to beer to everything, all you really have to pay for is the very expensive gas to get there. So, but all jokes aside, you know, obviously we just want you all to take advantage of the day and hopefully get some great experiences out of it. And more importantly, include people that are close to you there, your family, your friends, everyone's welcome. And again, that's one of the unique things that we can do with this event. So I think that's it, Dylan. You can tell we're all excited. I don't know what we have in store, but I really want you guys to listen to what Diego has to say about what they've been working on with his company.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris, for making this work while you had to be driving. So
And can I
please,
add one
Cynthia,
thing?
please.
If you're not able to walk up Jan's steps with your strollers and things like that, you have 2 alternatives. To the left and to the right of Jan's steps are less steps. to come up to Dixon Plaza. So you don't have to go straight up Jan Step. You can go take the steps to the right or to the left. There's extra easier access to
Yeah,
get up.
and if anybody, permanent or temporary wheelchair, we have accessibility routes. We can provide support for all that. UCLA is a very wheelchair accessible physical environment. So, you know.
Yes, there's actually a new elevator that got built with the new building. It's alongside of Anderson. If you're coming out of the parking lot for it, it'll be to the left. So there's an elevator that can get you up pretty far on that side.
On the other side of Fowler Museum, right at Anderson's building, is a new elevator.
Thank you for that catch, Cynthia. Thank you very much. And thanks, Chris, because yeah, you know, when you brought Sweet Pea in and just so many things you've operationalized, and the raffle is a wonderful thing at the end of the day. It's a great end of the day. So, all right. So last but not least, you know, I say this every time I introduce my favorite alumni, but he's one of my favorite alumni. The professor, the doctor of the brewing, our PhD in organic chemistry from Caltech, and then he went and got his FEMA degree, Diego Benitez, class of 2019. Diego is finally, after donating the beer for 4 Paloozas and not letting us pay him, he's finally, thank God, going to allow us to pay him for his incredible contribution. He's beaming in today from Wisconsin. Thank you, Diego, for making this happen. He's got an incredible upgrade to his career, but that's a different podcast. So, Diego, as always, thank you. You just get me salivating when you talk about it. But before we get to the flavors this year, the first question was your favorite Palooza moments. What would you like to share with people, or anything you want to say by way of saying hi? And thank you so much for your support.
So Dylan, first, thank you for inviting me to this short podcast to update people on what's cooking for Palooza. We have been working at the brewery to get something. When I heard that the food was going to be kind of multicultural, I have a multicultural background, so it really resonated with me. And so we came up with some kind of beers of the world tour. And but first, I will highlight some of the moments that I lived at Palooza. Other than pouring beer, because there was a huge line and I had to jump in and help pour beer. I would say that one of the most interesting parts was that every year, every Palooza was kind of like a snapshot of people's lives, because it's a day where you are kind of fully guard down. You are there to have fun. You're there with your family. You're there to enjoy the time. And so it was a time to update everyone on what have you been doing, any new hobbies, things that happen at your job. And so I do remember every Palooza, kind of the people that I spoke with, what stage in their life they were. And so I remember some people that from one Palooza to another one, they got married, then to the next Palooza, they showed up with one baby. And I mean, it happened to me. The first Palooza was kind of my own. And then the next one, I brought a wife. And then the next one, I brought a kid. And then now I would have brought 2 kids. So, but it is a time where even within my class, I think that there were some people that just, for whatever reason, took classes in a completely different schedule than I did. And I almost never saw them at school, in the school environment, but at Palooza, they were always there. So the networking, the interactions, and I now say, or I've always thought that business is made by humans. And so the better you are at interacting with humans, the better you're going to be at business. So, and Palooza is definitely an opportunity to enjoy other people and your friends, and also get to know new people that can open doors later in the game. It has happened to me. I had an advantage over everyone, because most of the times I would be, oh, that's the beer guy. And so that was kind of one-sided easier for me because more people knew of me or about me than the other way. And so I feel that just the interaction and the possible connections that you make at Palooza that obviously can last a lifetime are the main value of attending one of these events. Not only that, you get to also try some amazing food and obviously some amazing beer.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so those are great moments. I love that idea of it marks the time. You came as a single man, you came as a married man, you came as a married man with a family, and your family continues to grow, and witnessing similar evolutions in your classmates and that snapshot. And I love underlining the idea of, everybody's so flipping busy. And Chris said it, this is a free event, but it's not just that it's free. This event is easily worth $100 if you have a significant other. You're gonna impress them, and the weather, we have really good weather. It's looking like the 10-day forecast is going to be great. We are on some of the most pristine real estate in all of UCLA, on the west side in the summertime with the iconographic beauty of Royce Hall and Powell Library. It's a beautiful setting, and it does, like you said, it lets people's guards down. It's just hard to be stuffy when you smell like suntan oil and you got a delicious craft brew in your hand and you just had a, epic savory, and, you're just meeting people and the energy and the music. It's really special what we conjure up. And I think when it comes time to conjuring, nothing helps conjure better than incredible adult beverages. So let's tell them about this tour around the world. What do you have planned for us this year?
Progress Brewing is the brewery that is brewing the beer, and so we have a very popular German Helles. So it's like a light lager, very German style. Then we have in the last year or so, we have made a Norwegian style of beer, and we make it in kind of like a hybrid American pale ale style, but we use Norwegian ingredients and a Norwegian yeast. And it is extremely tasty. It's super fresh, very tropical notes. It's kind of like pineapple juice infused, but there's no pineapple, but because of the yeast, it tastes very pineapple-y. That one has been one of our very popular ones.
Nice.
We also have a Mexican lager, so very California style, just simple, very balanced, slightly tiny bit hoppy. And then we're thinking about either a Belgian beer that we can bring, slightly tart, quite aromatic, or we can also bring a little higher alcohol, an American West Coast IPA. That one is also one of our most popular. So depending on how we are on inventory, we will bring, we're trying to get the West Coast IPA because that will be very, very popular just from other years, from the other times that I've been there. The IPA together with a Hefeweizen that we brought have been probably the quickest beers to float the keg. So we're looking forward to bringing something like that. So yeah, so we have several options, styles of beer that we have been making already for several years. The Norwegian one is the one that we have made the most recent, but it's very popular, and they're all pretty light, pretty refreshing, very tasty. So something for everyone, and obviously to go well with the food, the amazing food that's going to be at Palooza.
Awesome. Oh my God, my mouth is watering. All right, so we got Germany, Norway, Mexico, Belgium, and maybe the West Coast IPA. So is that, did I hear it right? Okay, so that'd be fine.
Yeah, we're gonna try and get the West Coast, and then we have a setup for 4 beers, so we'll probably have to drop one, but we'll definitely, the West Coast IPA is a little more on the high alcohol, like 8.5%. So
Woo!
the other ones are more on the 5% range. So we'll see what we have.
Okay, yeah, come to Palooza, stay all afternoon. Nobody drives.
Yep.
The first. Awesome. And I may have done this out of order, but we also talked about, just as an alum, as a person who's, you gave a lot while you were here. You continue to give a lot as an alum, but anything about like what does Palooza mean to you as an alum, and why? I'm grateful we get to pay you, but you do this more out of love than anything. You guys start planning the flavors months in advance, but what's the day mean to you?
Well, it was an event where, like I said, it was a little difficult because every time I was nervous that the beers were pouring right, that the line was, I saw maybe 200 people in line trying to get beer, and it reflects on me. So I want everything to go smooth. And so it was a moment for me that defined a lot of the FEMBA experience, because not only a lot of people, I got to talk to a lot of people, and it was in a very positive light. Either I would probably get a couple dozen people come up to me and say, hey, I once tried to make beer in my apartment and it didn't go this well. What did you do? So sharing some brewer experience, some home brewing experience. Also talking about the business. How did you get to do your business? And so Progress Brewing is going to go into its 10th year anniversary.
Wow.
So every year it was talking about the challenges that we were facing. It was either growth or how the consumer preferences were changing, how we're keeping up with demand, what we were building, and how we were changing to the ever changing market of beer that has gone through an upheaval. So it was a time where, even though I was relaxed and it was a time for just spending time with friends, it was also very enriching professionally, because I met not only faculty that would come up to me and talk about things, but I did one of these learning on the lawn events and just sharing my experience and what it took to be an entrepreneur. That I call it that I burnt the boats, because I had some real estate in West LA and I sold it to fund the brewery, and the brewery was personally funded. So people were honestly curious about what I had gone through. And so it was, like I say, a very good opportunity to spend time with friends, to see where they're in their lives, to make new business connections, and also many times lifetime interactions with people that I obviously still stay in touch. So it's multidimensional, from professional and personal, and high activity time to enjoy with everyone.
Well, Diego, we know that we're going to be real corny and say you're the number one Bruin that we know, for sure.
Thank you.
He's the number one Bruin. Yeah, and I think, I didn't know if the audio was good, but it's South El Monte's finest, Progress Brewing.
Yep.
So please, if you're on that side of town, please send your patronage. And and Diego, 10 years as an entrepreneur, burn the boats, sell the real estate, get the working capital to start a business, and then I remember the first time I interviewed you for the podcast, you said, some days I'm a master brewer and the next day I'm a carpenter, and I'm,
Yep.
I'm laying the floor and swinging a hammer, all of the multiplicity of that. And then, podcast for another day. Now he's been recruited out of industry. So he's still a partner with Progress Brewing, but he's not in day-to-day operations because he's relocated his family to Wisconsin and has a big role in in industry. I mean, you want to throw a couple words at that just to give people a little update on where you are?
Yeah, sure. So Yes, my partner Kevin, also a founder, is now overseeing the day-to-day operations. We do a lot of on the phone, just checking in and where things are. And one day I got a weird call from a recruiter, and I thought it was a spam call. And after going back and forth, I moved to Wisconsin, and it's a pretty big job. I'm the senior director of R&D for a coffee contractor that nobody has heard of, but it makes coffee beverages that are in every supermarket and in every gas station. So,
Wow. Wow. And you're still a partner with Progress Brewing, and you're still sourcing that Palooza can be everything it can be. So yeah, I'll put the link to in the show notes under this. I'll put the link to our old podcast, but Diego could instantly be a professor at UCLA if he chose to do so. And he could probably lecture in 4 or 5 different topics, from entrepreneurship to running a successful business to organic chemistry. So I always aspire to be a better human being after I talk to you, Diego. You inspire me always. You're a highly gifted human being, multilingual, multinational, but you're just a wonderful person. And yeah, I just love it. You know, we could hire King's Liquor, and we could have Budweiser and Heineken, and it would be fine, and it would get the job done. But when you bring your art and your craft to Palooza, it just takes it to a whole other level. For people like Tay, hey Tay, don't leave. So sorry, I use this one link for everything. Tay is one of our entering students. Tay, we're like 2 minutes from wrapping up here. So Diego, thank you. I'll just wrap up with 3 things that I'm looking forward to about Palooza. One, we get to welcome the entering class of 2025. I hope that they appreciate how special we want them to feel. Every school has a welcome event where you have like 10 upper class volunteers and then the new admits, but we have hundreds of alumni and faculty, and Palooza is at one level, it's still a welcome event for the entering class, but as was just said moments ago by Diego, it's so much more than that. It is a moment in time for your current student journey. And the second point I want to make is it can be a mini reunion for our alumni. 2/3 of the people who are registered so far are alumni. 1/3 of the registrants are new admits and current students. So if you're an alum, hey, get some other alumni, because the more people you bring to the event, just make sure some people don't see the emails, people are busy. So one is that we get to welcome the class of 2025. 2 is that it's a wonderful built-in alumni reunion. Let us do the heavy lifting. We got a date, a time, and an epic location. Come to Palooza from 3 to sunset, then go hang out in Westwood. Turn it into a whole day. Get your class of 2010 back together, your class of 2015, your class of 2020. Have that happen. Third thing, the kids zone is going to be epic. We got 3 bounce houses this year. We have the balloon lady, the caricature, both, right, Cynthia? Am I right on that? We got lots of surprises in the kids zone, that whole lawn by the fountain. So the very first, after you check in at the top of the stairs, Cynthia will be running that team. And then the very first lawn will be the kids zone. So we got lots of activity for children. The middle lawn will be the big stage, and all the food will be served there. And then the third lawn, all the way at the end down by the flagpole, that will be the club hub, the opportunity zone. And that's where the beer station will be. So we got 3 different zones of activity, sort of kids, everybody, adults. It kind of escalates as you go down. And then we have the giant In-N-Out truck is going to be down by the flagpole. So
and if I could add, for those who don't drink beer, we will have pink agua rosé, wine, and flavored nectar drinks.
And we even, and non-alcoholic, we got Path Water and the sustainable aluminum cans, really delicious drinking water donated by Harry Meng and Path Water. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want a table, reach out to Cynthia, Chris, or me. The weather, we're 11 days out, but the 10-day forecast looks like it's going to be great weather. And my last thing, if nobody knows the story, Palooza came to me during paternity leave with my second son, Christian, when he was born. He'll be 10 years old this year. And I was on paternity leave, and I thought, we always do the midsummer welcome event. What if we added current students and alumni, and we had it up at Sunset Canyon Rec? Because those of you who did Leadership Foundations in the olden days, we used to always do the debrief after the ropes course at the amphitheater at Sunset Canyon Rec. And I just always loved that atmosphere. The sun would set, the light was long, everybody's in that like emotional high after the ropes course day. And the original idea of Palooza was, hey, what if we moved the midsummer welcome event for the entering class? What if we moved it up to Sunset Canyon Rec? And what if we added current students and alumni? And it was just a brainstorm that happened to me as I was bottle feeding my second son during paternity leave. And we did 3 years up at Sunset Canyon Rec, and then we came down the mountain because we outgrew it up there. And we've been on this Chancellor's Lawn ever since, and it's kind of a happy accident. We were going to be on Wilson Plaza, but Special Olympics was happening in the summer of 15, and they said, we're going to have to bump you up. And we're like, what does that mean? They said, well, we're going to put you between Royce and Powell, and the only things that can happen up there are like Chancellor level events. So we're totally in like the holy of holies, some of the most pristine real estate in all of UCLA, the actual chronological start whenever UCLA relocated from downtown out to Westwood in the early infancy days, when Bel Air was just a bunch of hills, totally unpopulated. Oh my God, if only I could have bought some real estate. So, you know, I also mark Palooza with the growth of my children. The very first Palooza, I've got Christian, he's like, let's see, he was born in March, April, May, June, July. He's 4 months old. He's just a little peanut asleep in my arm. And I have a family portrait from all of the 8 Paloozas. And this year, from 2019, last time we did this live, to now, my older son has grown like 14 inches, and he's now 4 inches taller than me. So when I take the family portrait at Palooza number 9, I'm probably just going to break down and cry, because, you know, every cliche they say about raising kids is true. The years are short and the days are long. And I think I really appreciate you kind of bringing that out, Diego, that this is a moment in time. It's a snapshot. So for those of you who are kind enough to listen to all 30 minutes of us, you know, treat this day special. Make sure you come, invite some classmates, come hungry, come thirsty, come ready to network, come ready to welcome the class of 2025, come ready to see some faculty and staff you haven't seen in a minute. Anderson's a family if you make it a family. And this is a day to really make it, you know, keep connecting and reconnecting and make your network just everything that it can be. So I will stop recording now. Tay, just hang on with me. Diego, Cynthia, Chris, can't do this without you.
Thank you, Dylan.
It's the funnest part of the year. This is an epic special day. Commencement, day 1 of Leadership Foundations at Palooza. Those are the 3 tent poles that make this job always fulfilling for me personally. So thanks, everybody. I'm going to stop recording. We'll take a couple minutes of debrief, and then Tay, we're going to talk. All right. Can't wait to see everybody. July 23rd.